Hello, 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 and welcome to day 19 out of 30 building and launching an artificial intelligence app in public. I'm vibe coding using Lovable, one of the many vibe coding tools out there, going from an idea to build to beta product to launching and hopefully making some revenue all within 1 month using 1 hour per day of work. That is my commitment. As much as I want to go hard and spend the next 6 hours building this, I want to show that this is possible for everybody at home basically to pick up one of these applications and on the free plan or a low-level plan to be able to build out something 1 hour a day that you can launch and make money with. That's the purpose of the stream. So we are on day 19. Day 18, yesterday, was a nightmare, a complete and utter nightmare. Everything was going wrong. I actually did a video complaining about it afterwards. Complaining in a nice way, but still complaining, and we had a lot of problems. Lovable was throwing up a lot of errors. You can see on stream I've got these kind of incomplete tasks which Lovable just did not process. Also the 11 labs integration that Lovable has at the bottom down here, which allows me to talk to Lovable using my voice via my microphone, was not working, so I had to type things like a peasant. And the Anthropic API, the people who run Claude, that was showing degradations as well. So across the board, it was just an absolute mess. We managed to get a bit done, but we only went for 40 minutes instead of the normal 60 because of those problems. Now, what are we doing today? I'm going to try to integrate something called Apify. So at the moment, in order to get a YouTube transcript from YouTube, it requires my user to log in using their my customer to log in using their Google account, and then it uses their Google account to authorize with Google and then pull the transcripts from YouTube. That's kind of fine, but there are some limitations. One, they need to have a Google account. Two, they can only pull transcripts from their own videos, so they have to have their own channel. That's kind of okay if we're only focusing on content creators, but I'd like to widen this out so that one, it can be used by non-content creators to create lead magnets that they can then sell as a service to content creators. That's a really cool service that they can provide, and that allows me to open up a secondary market. And two, it'd be very cool to be able to generate lead magnets based on other people's work and obviously adapt them to your own needs, but it just kind of opens up the usage of this tool. However, to do this is a bit of a pain. The reason is there's a couple of ways to connect to Google or YouTube specifically to get transcripts. There's something called InnerTube, YouTube's InnerTube, which allows you to kind of get in and pull transcripts. However, if YouTube sees more than about 250 requests coming from the same IP address, especially if it's like a cloud service, they know that somebody is up to no good and pulling information that they probably shouldn't. It's against the terms of service, etc., etc. So it's messy. So at 250 requests, they'll basically just block that IP. So that's not going to work. What we're going to try and do is integrate something called Apify. So if people haven't seen Apify before, it allows you to run little processes on a server. Let me see what Apify actually put themselves forward as. A full stack web scraping and data extraction platform. Full stack platform for web scraping. So for example, let's say I wanted to do some research about Instagram influencers in my niche, and I wanted to put in a list of 400 influencers and find out what their top performing videos are. That's hard to do manually, but I could use something like this Instagram scraper. I would give it a bunch of usernames, and it's going to go off and grab all of their posts, all of their profiles, places, hashtags, photos, comments, etc. And then I can then run data analysis on that in order to find out what are the best performing videos. So you can do a huge amount of stuff with this. This is grey area in terms of terms and service. It's not illegal, but terms and service related, it's a bit problematic. But what I'm looking at is there's a YouTube crawler and video scraper. It's an alternative YouTube API with no limits or quotas. Extract and download channel names, likes, number of views, number of subscribers, etc. I'm going to be having a look at this to see if I can do the work. They do actually have wide video ones, so this one scrapes transcripts from everything, so I could potentially use this to integrate TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and be able to pull video transcripts from absolutely everything, which is very cool. It's from InVideo IQ. However, this one has quite a low rating. It has 1,200 people using it, but their rating is 3.7, so I'm thinking that's a bit not great. There are other ones. Oh, actually, let's click on this and see if it has like similar. No. That's interesting. It doesn't work well with Instagram Reels. Much slower. Yep, so this is going to be an issue in terms of speed, but this is going to allow me to get any video transcript. So I've got a question here whether I just do YouTube for now to see if I can get it working, or I try to find one that can pull. Actually, if I search for transcript, here we go. YouTube transcript. So this is $20 a month, and then plus usage. I don't know what the usage is there. That's only YouTube. The one I'm looking for YouTube is this one. It's $7 per 1,000 results, which is fine. That works out at 1,000 divided by 7. Oh no, 7. Excuse me. 7 divided by 1,000. $0.007. So it's cheap per run. What else do we have? We have TikTok and YouTube. That doesn't have any reviews. YouTube transcript. Let's do this by most popular. So ideally, I want something that's going to work, and that does not cost a fortune. So I'm not seeing that work for all of them. Here we go. TikTok, Instagram. It's got 607 users and 5 stars. It's not too bad. Can you do? But this one cannot do YouTube, annoyingly. And this does transcription $2.50 per 1,000 watt, 1,000 seconds. 1,000 seconds is how many minutes? 16 minutes. It's not cheap, is it? No. And I don't actually need to transcribe, I just need to pull the transcription. Because if I'm going to transcribe, I'll use ChatGPT, I'll use Whisper. Right, I'm overcomplicating this. Let's go ahead and use this basic YouTube scraper, which is maintained by Apify. This is their legit one. Legit, you know what I mean. And we're going to add this in, and we're going to use this to try and get the ability to scrape any YouTube video. And I can use voice. Hey Lovable, so I want to adapt our YouTube video transcript getter. It's going to be routed. So if the user has logged in and authorized using a Google account, and if they enter a URL which is one of their videos, therefore they're allowed to get their own transcript because it's using their OAuth, then we will go ahead and use that normal route, no problem at all. However, if it is not one of their videos, what I'd like to do is add in the ability to use an Apify scraper. Specifically, I'll give you the URL for it at the end of this message, which allows me to crawl and scrape the transcripts directly from YouTube for any video. So we're going to have a two-part system. So first it will see if it's one of their videos. Well, first it will check if they're logged in with Google. If yes, it will then check if the URL is one of their videos. If yes, use their OAuth in order to get the transcript. Cool, absolutely fine with that. If it is not one of their videos, then we will use the YouTube scraper, the Apify. So I need your help with the implementation. First, tell me what information you need about the Apify integration, if you need any API documentation, etc., and then we'll work through the process together. Thank you. And what I'm going to do is give it the URL. What I might do though is also take that message over to, did that not record my message? Ay. Microphone, which microphone are you using? Aha. That is not their fault in this particular case. It is using the wrong microphone, because I have so many microphones, but that is still very annoying. Testing, testing, testing. Okay. Sorry, stream. Okay, Lovable, we are going to make a change. We are going to change how we are getting the transcript for the YouTube video. It's going to be a routed system depending on what information we have about the user. So if the user has given us their Gmail authentication, the OAuth, and the URL that they are trying to get the transcript from belongs to them, so it is on their channel, then we will continue with the normal method of getting the transcript. That already works. Awesome. If it is not their video, then we're going to use Apify. So Apify allows us to get, we're going to use a YouTube scraper that allows us to get the transcript of any YouTube video. So we are going to work together on implementing that. I'm going to give you a URL to the YouTube scraper, and we're going to discuss first how we go about this implementation, what additional information you need from me, i.e. API documents from Apify, etc., etc. Thank you. Now, I'm so glad to have 11 labs back. I'm also going to put that into Claude Opus and get Claude Opus's thoughts. And I'm going to put Lovable into chat mode, so that means we're going to discuss it rather than it beginning to implement. Otherwise, it's going to rush off and start to implement. And then on my side, I want to basically save it into my Apify. I'm having to look around this thing. Save it into my Apify account. Great, I understand you want to implement a routed, somebody's going to yell at me, transcript extraction system. If user has a Gmail OAuth and the vehicle belongs to their channel, vehicle, excuse me, video belongs to their channel. I'm coming down with a cold. I can't think. Use the existing method. If the video doesn't belong to them, or no OAuth, use Apify YouTube scrapers. So what we might do is we might have to charge a bit more if they want to get any video, because this is free, this method, whereas this is going to cost me not much, but it is going to cost me something. So let me examine the current YouTube transcription extraction system and understand what we're working with, etc. Let me see how the system currently determines if a video belongs to a user. It does not, so it's probably going to have to add that. I saw a meme the other day of, so Claude, when you're coding with Claude in particular, it will often do this. It will say perfect, perfect, or I've got it, lots of exclamation marks. Perfect, I found it. And they said that they were going to do a press up every time it did that, or sent back a message like, you're so right. Here we go. Oh, yes, we still had a problem. That's fine. So yes, we had a problem from yesterday. It's 100% right, and I'd forgotten about that problem. So it's being smart and saying we need to fix that problem first before we start adding stuff, you idiot. So thankfully my vibe coding tool is smarter than me. And then channel ownership detection, awesome. Then create Apify integration. So Apify API key, fine. Okay, so it looks like that's going to be nice and simple. Then the routing logic, then updating the front end. No major front end change. Yep, true. Do you already have an Apify account? Oh, so I can talk to it. That all looks good. Apify API key. Yes, I have an Apify account and I can generate an API token for you. Channel ownership check. Do you want to check ownership of any authenticated users? Well, we can only check those who have connected their channel via OAuth. So this question doesn't make any sense. We can only do, because we don't know what the channel is of the people who haven't used OAuth. Cost consideration. The Apify scraper costs $5 per 1,000 videos. Yes. Do you want to implement any usage tracking limit or tracking of this? Tracking, yes. Can you... Yeah, I want tracking in my admin dashboard so I can kind of keep an eye on it. In terms of usage limits, no, not for the beta test, but we will later make a varied plan, or user plans, where you can only scrape from other people's accounts if you are on the higher plan. So we'll do that later. Transcript quality. Should we prefer OAuth over Apify when both are available? Yes. If both are available, well, you should be using the OAuth anyway, because it shouldn't get through to the point where you're checking for both because of the routing. Error handling. How should we handle cases when neither method, private video, no captions? You will tell the user that, and you will not deduct credits from them. Okay. So I'm not going to click implement yet because I need to answer these questions. So that implement button appears regardless, but if we click that, it's not going to take into account the questions I've asked. Gemini always says to me the input is revolutionary. Yes, Gemini is also equally guilty of this. It will always tell you like how great it is. It's what they tried to do was they tried to make them more personable, but the way that they do it is overblown, unfortunately. Oh, thank you for answering questions. Let me jump back here. What's that called? I'm using Lovable. Nat says I'm fake. You still come every day though, Nat. Can you prompt ChatGPT how to block your channel? No, you can just block it yourself. Oh, is this pre-recorded? No, it's not. Why is he talking to himself then? Because I'm building something, and what I do is when I go into implementation phase, which I'm doing right now, then I can turn to chat. Oh, hey Nat. Do you believe I'm a human being now? Just gonna go ahead and block you because I don't need your energy. Bye. Awesome. So we've now got Lovable doing its job. I am going to need to get my API key from over here. Let me see if I can do that without... Nope. It is following around my screen. I'm going to get my API key. I'm going to drop my screen for a moment to get the API key rather than expose it. Oh, I don't think it's going to be visible anyway. But let me pull these down here. So an API key is basically it's basically like a little password that you use to connect different pieces of software, to allow pieces of software to talk to each other. And it contains a long list of letters and numbers. So for example, mine starts JZ, capital G, capital I, O, 0, but then it goes on and on and on and on and on for hundreds, potentially hundreds. And that allows pieces of software to talk to each other securely. But the reason I don't want them on stream is that if somebody has your API key, they can potentially use your API inside their piece of software, and they'll run up a bill on your account. So that's the only reason why I'm hiding it. So generally with things like OpenAI, etc., you don't even get to see it. You just kind of copy paste it from software to software. But I'm just being careful, because otherwise somebody can come back to this stream later and look for the API keys. That said, if somebody does get your API keys and they start to run up a bill, you can rotate the key. So you just generate a new key, like generating a new password. But ideally that doesn't happen. Okay, fix the build errors, all the TypeScript and build unsuccessful. So what? Okay, so it's starting with phase 1, which is fixing the build errors and the basic text processing. Sebastian, what will my... Sorry, Nat still doesn't believe I'm real. I don't know what to tell you, Nat. So Sebastian, I will show you quickly. It will, although we have an error in it right now, so it might not work at the moment. So the basic idea is, if you are a content creator, you're putting out videos on YouTube, Instagram, blog articles, for example, when you have top of funnel content. People are seeing your content, but what you want to do is capture their email addresses so that you can bring them into your marketing funnel and then sell them your products. It's kind of digital marketing, one of the first things that you do. So you might have 10,000 people watch a video, but what you really want to do is get 100 of them to sign up for some kind of lead magnet. A lead magnet basically is a piece of value that you give away in exchange for an email address. Most people give something like their newsletter, which is a bit of a weak lead magnet. What I'm doing is I'm building a tool that can create very specific lead magnets for particular content. So for example, here's one. This is a checklist based on a video that I made. And off the back of that, this tool I'm creating, so it will analyze the video, get information from the video, build a lead magnet about whatever is in that video, and then you can generate landing pages as well, which is basically, I'll show you what one looks like, a website which will have something like this: get your free 30-day business launch checklist. You'll give your email address. Once you give your email address, you get given the piece of value. So I'm building a tool that allows content creators to do this all inside one interface, so that, let's say they're producing, a couple of videos a day, they're able to produce multiple lead magnets as well, specific to those videos, and quickly spin up a landing page and use it to collect email addresses. So that's what we're building, and we're on day 19 out of 30. So we're going to move to beta testing soon and then get it launched. It's taken longer than I thought. This is the first time I'm doing this 30-day challenge. Next time I'll probably do a simpler tool and get it launched much faster, but I live and learn, and I'll do another one. The aim is to do one a month basically. So what are the build errors? And I'm using a vibe coding tool. It seems to have built okay, so I don't know what's wrong with it. So what I will do, get rid of that. I'm using a vibe coding tool, so I don't actually need to know how to code. So if you see any scary looking code on screen, that's generally can be ignored, because vibe coding allows us to literally talk. I'm using a microphone to talk to the piece of software in order to get stuff done. So let's see if this is working. And we're using ChatGPT in the back end to generate the lead magnets and to generate the landing pages. Okay, so I gave it some information about a page, and it has created me lead magnet ideas. So a hackathon preparation checklist. Are you ready for the hackathon? Which is a quiz and ultimate guide to winning hackathons, the PDF guide. I should read this because I'm doing a hackathon over the weekend. So I then create the lead magnet. Now this wasn't working yesterday, so let's see if it is. So far so good. Tide says, have you been successful connecting to Superbase before? Yes, no problem. Lovable has a built-in integration. It's nice and easy. So there we go. The checklist has been created. It's fairly generic, but I did just give it a generic page. Register early. Mark the key dates. Oh, that's actually useful. Familiarize yourself with the Lite API. I should do that because I'm about to build using it, so that's quite helpful. Build or join a diverse team. It's just me and my friend Shen. Assign clear roles, etc, etc. Okay, so it has created a lead magnet for me. So that is working, and that's a text-based one, and it is visible. Cool. So we can now move on to phase 2. Those were fixes from yesterday. As I mentioned earlier on the stream, it was a complete nightmare yesterday with nothing working. So we managed to break some stuff, not really move anything forward, and then I've just managed to fix some of that issues. So yesterday, the Claude API, Claude is the model sitting underneath. Oh, here we go. Was not working. It wasn't fully functional. The 11 Labs integration to allow me to talk to Lovable wasn't working. Lovable had its own problems. It was just, the whole thing was a mess. I'll check the console logs. No, you don't need to do that. Let me add the API. Okay, so I don't know which one it needs. I'm going to kill the screen for a minute. So it wants a Lovable, the Apify API key. So what do you want, the client? Here we go. So I'm now going to drop the API key in there and see if that works. I can actually show you because it doesn't see anything. So there is an API token here, but as you can see, I can't even see it. I can click this to make it visible. I'm not going to do that live on stream, but I can also just take that out and put it into Lovable. So Lovable itself doesn't see the API key. It's sending it straight to Supabase. Phase 2 completed. This is weird. That's a very, normally it's more verbose and it would tell me what it's done, but it's just said, yeah, I've done it. So I never trust AI when it behaves differently to how it normally behaves. So I've added the Apify secret, verify the secret. Well, you need to do that then, don't you? Did you verify? Question mark. So I'm able to build software by using natural language. So I'm telling Lovable to go ahead and verify that for me. Does the code work? Yes. Yes, it does. The complication is I'm adding more stuff. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding a way to go around the YouTube API. So YouTube and Google have something called OAuth, which is its authorization method using somebody's Google account, and we can use that to get transcripts from their YouTube videos, but that limits us to only being able to sell to people who have a YouTube channel, which of course is going to be a large group, but I want to also allow all users to get transcripts from any YouTube video. It's going to make it much more powerful, but to do that I need to circumvent the YouTube API and use something a bit different. Yimmy Cat says, oh man, I need to see this from the beginning. Can I get a recording? Yes, it's all available on YouTube. There's quite a lot of it though. I mean, you're welcome to watch it, but there's like 18 hours of it. Maybe put it on in the background while you're doing something else. Let me put it up. So you go to YouTube. I am Kyle Palmer. I'll just put my name and it should pop up. There we go. And then in playlists, there's this one here. So building a business with AI. You can see the full playlist. There's all of these videos here. So we have 15 or so already up there, and they'll keep being put up. Okay. I can see the issue. That's interesting. Right, let's go back. I'll create an edge function to handle YouTube instructions, and then update the frontend user relay API. Implemented the I don't believe you. Because I haven't given you any details about the Apify that we're using. So I don't believe you. Oh. Something is amiss here. Oh. No, it isn't. I'm being stupid. I was at the top of my dialogue. Test the Apify. Okay. Now, perfect. Let me verify the Apify secret is properly configured by calling the test function. So let's see if we receive that. Where did I see that? Integrations? Nope. Haven't monetized? No, because I'm not selling Aptors. Okay, I'm not sure where I see that in Apify, so I'm going to have to take it as word for now. So let's move on to phase 3. Sorry, I thought it had gone horribly wrong. It had not. It is, however, forgetting the rest of the plan, which is a bit annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it the plan again. It might be because I used the button which is like apply the plan, which is built into Love, but it shouldn't be that. But okay, so okay, phase 1 and 2 done. Now 3. So I'm just reminding of the plan. You often have to do this in AI, especially if you've been talking to it for a long time, because it's going to get pushed out of the context window. So often if you find you're talking to an AI and it is just making stuff up, it's because it's forgotten what happened at the beginning of the conversation. It shouldn't have happened so quickly. So I don't know what's happening here, but the quickest way just to get it back on track is to remind it, hey, this is what we were doing. So I've given it the whole plan again, all phase 1 through 7 that we're working on today, and said, hey, we've done 1 and 2, let's now do 3. So it allows us to get us back on track. Got it, epic. I'll put it on while I work, I appreciate it. If you want to listen to me for that long, yeah, please do. I'd find it very boring, but I'm very happy you want to. There's also a news live that I do every day. I normally do it at 10 a.m. London time, basically going through the AI news and updates of the day. So I have 2 different live streams. This one where I'm building in public, and you can follow through, which is totally new. This is the first time I'm doing it, and we're on day 19. Yeah, on day 19. So this format will also change and evolve. I want to build with people as well. That would be the really cool thing, is to get everybody, not everybody, whoever wants to join on a 30-day cycle. So building it all together and kind of bouncing off each other. I think that would be really cool. I just need to work out what that looks like. Yes, I do pay for Lovable. If you pay for Lovable, does daily login add the credits each day? So you get 5 credits per day, but the 5 credits don't stack. They're a little bit sneaky in that pricing. So yes, if you pay for the if you pay $25 a month, you get 100 credits per month. I think this is about right. And you also get 5 bonus credits per day. So some people think, oh, that actually means I get 150 credits extra. So I'm actually getting 250 credits. That's not quite right. You get 5 credits per day. Those credits do not roll over. Those credits do not stack. So if you come in every day, use your 5 credits, cool. They are perfect. What they're trying to do is to make it sticky. They want people logging in every single day, because then it becomes something you do in your daily life. And that's a very powerful psychological hook. But yeah, you do need to use them or you lose them. However, for the monthly credits, those roll over. Yeah, it's a bit sneaky. Yes, it's called Lovable. I have one of their stickers there so I can show it to you. Lovable, like this. Which is also the name of a bra company, confusingly. Okay, phase 3 complete. I wish it would give me a bit more detail. Created the check video ownership edge function that uses... Okay, so let's test this. It's not giving me a huge amount of feedback, so I need to tell it, give it some more instructions here. Specifically, so the reason that I'm testing at each stage is we need to make sure that we don't compound errors. So if something goes wrong early on and then I just continue building, and then later the application is not working for whatever reason, it's going to be hard to hone in on where that problem occurred. So we need to ask what it's done and then go and test what it's done each and every time. Let's do something on AI. Let's pull up an AI thing. Well, they're all shorts. Get file insights now. I don't want to do a hugely long one. Okay, we'll do this. AI copium. Sure. So I'm going to stick this in, and it should say, hey, this isn't your video. Oh, let me make sure I'm actually logged in first, otherwise that's going to cause errors. And what we're looking for is for it to say, absolutely not, this isn't your video, what are you talking about? Something went wrong. Okay, so that is not ideal because we don't know why it's not working. So we can look in console and we can pull this up. I'm going to grab the... Oh, we've got a security error as well. We'll deal with that in a bit. Okay, I tried... What am I doing? Okay, I tried putting in a video that does not belong to me. I am logged in with my own Google and I have my own channel, but I tried a third-party video that does not belong to me. It errored out, but it would always error out before, so I don't know if it errored out due to the check video ownership. I'm going to give you the Chrome console error so you can have a look. What I would like to do, if you haven't already added it, is if it errors out because they don't own that channel, throw that up as its own error message so that we actually know why, so we can diagnose. And also we're going to be adding the route in a moment, so it shouldn't be a problem. But let's go ahead and add that error message so we know that the check video ownership edge function is working. Thank you. Okay. I've part built a website that allows you to search a postcode, finds local schools, doctors, council tax, plan permission in area, UK based. Cool. Are you using the Google Map API for that? I'm about to build something this weekend with the Google Map API, which should be fun. So is it for people who want to buy a home? For finding local schools, doctors, etc.? Because I'm sure that's very useful. I'll add ownership check-in to detect when videos don't. Well, you should have already done that. That's what you just did, I'm sure. I've used a bunch of things, not Google Maps, but maybe I should. Maybe. It depends. Depends what you're building. But Google Maps just gives you access to, well, the map data, but also all the data on the maps, if that makes sense. So it's quite a rich API. Gives school Ofsted ratings too. Very cool. Okay. The models seem a bit... Okay, added video ownership check-in with specific error message. Now you'll see video not owned. So let's see if that is true. I'm going to ignore the security scan message for now and fix it afterwards. The site's not live, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, and it has gone anyway. Bit weird. Test it. We're just going to test it again with a video that I don't own. And all I'm looking for is for it to say, you don't own that. So into the dashboard, to here. Okay. It's saying content may be private or restricted. Edge function returned a non-200. This isn't the end of the world. I just want to make sure that this function in the back end is working and that it's able to determine whether or not the video is mine or not. It doesn't matter that much, this error code that I'm trying to get it to throw up, because if the video doesn't belong to me, it will use the Apify API that we're trying to set up. And if it does belong to me, it will just work anyway, because that's the functionality. But I want to make sure that the routing is actually happening in the back end before I move on to the next step, which is why I'm sticking here. Is the Google API free? Yes, but once you reach a certain kind of level, you do need to pay. So platform pricing, Google Maps, so 10,000 free calls per product per month. So it kind of depends whether that's a lot for you or not. I wonder if there's like an open source free version, maybe. So Essentials gives you 10,000 free calls per month. So they actually have that's cool, a monthly cost platform. So how much it's going to cost you, but obviously if you want to do for free, you want all of that to be zero. So the question is whether it's going to get 10,000 calls back and forth. I'm sure there is an open. Is it just called Open Maps? Oh, there's a few. OpenStreetMap, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Organic maps. Is that the only one? It's a web mapping. Okay, apparently there's something called organic maps. But I'm sure you've looked at these already. Right, let's see. I'll check the edge function to see what's causing the 401 and fix the authentication issue. Fix the routing issue! Exclamation mark. I still don't believe you. So we need to go and check whether it's telling the truth or not. Hello, Dre. Ben saying, yes, that's what I've used. Which one? The organic maps? Yeah, so Google just have the data, like, because people use Google Maps. So they've built up their data over the last, gosh, decade or so. So it's pretty powerful. God, there's so many trashy videos. Maybe they're good. I shouldn't be mean. No, that is not working. Console. So I'm getting a 401. Okay, so nope, that's still not working, and I don't want to go in loops telling you to fix it if it's not going to happen. So let's take a step back and analyze the potential possibilities. Tell me what we need to do in order to diagnose this properly, what you need from Chrome, what you need me to test, etc. In order to do this in a more robust manner instead of just trying to fix it. So I'm going to put this into chat mode because I don't want it to keep making changes because it's not working. Whoops, there we go. And again, this isn't getting the error message to display isn't that important. What is important is the routing in the background. YimiCat says, so sometimes it can say it fixed something but it didn't. Yes, sadly. So these are based on large language models, artificial intelligence models like Claude, like Gemini, ChatGPT, and just like those models, they can make stuff up. But when it makes stuff up, when it's, you are writing an email or a story or kind of doing text, English text, it doesn't really matter that much. You can change it, it's fine. With code, if something gets made up, then the code won't work. Something will go wrong. So we need to be a lot more careful. But unfortunately, like the underlying models, they will tell us things like this. You're absolutely right. They will tell us, perfect, I've done it. And we just need to be skeptical and test as we move forward. So what I'm doing here is the task that I have to do today. I broke it down first into 7 steps. And I use the AI to help me break it down. And then we're doing the step. I'm checking its work, seeing if it works or not, and then we're moving on to the next step. And so we break a larger task down. If I just said, hey, integrate the Apify, what's it called? Apify YouTube scraper, off you go. It would have gone through all the steps and it might have worked. It probably wouldn't have worked, and it would have been very hard to work out where it had gone wrong. So we're doing it step by step by step. So perfect, now I can see the pattern. So it could still be BSing me here. The edge function is consistently returning 401. So session token issue. The session access token from the front end isn't valid for Superbase authentication. We might be sending the wrong token type. I mean, these are big issues. Okay, so front end. So it's given me some diagnostic methods. So here we go. Check the current session state. Okay, I'm happy to do all of those. For front-end authentication state check, where do you want me to run that? In the dashboard? Does it matter? Or do you want me to run it on the error screen after failing to create the lead magnet? We're going to do both. So I can do on the lead magnet. See what it says. And we're going to do it specifically in the console. Don't paste. Yes, I know. Please type allow pasting. User exists. False. Well, that's probably our issue then, isn't it? On the error screen. Okay, I'd already done that. Yes, I know how to do that. That's fine. Okay, so it's helped me to debug. So there is no user. So that's why we're having an error. I fixed something but introduced another 10 bugs is also normal. Yeah. Yeah, that is. It's like whack-a-mole. So this is why understanding code is really helpful, because you can kind of control, not the scope, that's the technical term, but you can control where it is focusing, and you have a better understanding of the code as a whole. So this is why learning to code is still really, really, really handy. Can you disable creativity? This is almost a philosophical question. So you're not authenticated. Oh, it correctly detected I don't own the video. My session expired. So let me try this first. So the thing about large language models is they are token generators, basically. And they will look at the, relationship between concepts, tokens, words, basically, and use that to predict the next token or word, roughly, in the sequence. And they're very good at doing that, extremely good at doing that. However, if they were purely deterministic, if they always detected the most probable next word, then they wouldn't be very useful. So we actually tone down their determinism. We allow them to choose the not necessarily most probable next token in a sequence, and that's what gives them their creativity. So it's a double-edged sword. It makes them much more useful, much more like humans, and this is why people start to think of them as truly intelligent and start to think of them as reaching levels of human intelligence, because we allow that creativity. We allow the slightly more random no, that's not quite the word. We don't just choose the next most likely token. So, but that also means they're more prone to things like hallucinations. So it is what makes them amazing also makes them problematic. And these are questions and things that have been worked out by engineers. Okay, content maybe. Let's try it with one of my videos and see if we're just having an issue. This could be something stupid where I'm just copying in the wrong link or something, so I'll pull this one in. Dashboard. Oh, it's weird. I need to change that, so I haven't seen that as a URL because I haven't put HTTPS on it, which is stupid. That should be, we'll find a way to add that automatically. Okay, so it seems to be working with my video. Cool. So the core functionality, if you are logged in with OAuth, that works, no problem. What's your view on getting started in AI by selling landing pages and websites for local businesses? Yeah, sure. So that's been a business for the last 20 years or so. AI makes it a lot easier to build stuff. The problem is it makes it easier for everyone to build stuff. So your competitors, it's going to be easier for them as well. So if you look on Fiverr and Upwork, there are certain categories that are just crashing. They're getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So because it's so easy to build this stuff now, that it means there's an oversupply and not necessarily more demand, so it brings the price crashing down. At the same time, small businesses are also getting access to these tools. So Base 44, for example, was purchased by Wix. So anyone who uses Wix for their website hosting, small business, they now have access to a vibe coding tool that allows them to build websites really quickly, which again means the supply of websites and landing pages has increased, and demand hasn't necessarily increased, which means the price comes down. It doesn't mean that business owners are going to start creating their own software, creating their own websites. There are still technical barriers, there are still psychological barriers. Most people think they're not technical enough, even if they could. So there'll be a business. I would just say it's a business that is not on the up and up, it's on the down instead. And generally you want to be with momentum rather than against it, generally. So if you're selling and you're making some money, great. I would just look for other areas in AI where it's on the up and up, which are probably going to have a little bit more staying power. So that works. Your session expired, you need to sign in again. Test, okay. Okay, I logged in with my account and used one of my videos and it generated the lead magnet ideas, so that is working perfectly. All I want is to test the routing system to make sure that when the third-party video isn't owned by me, it shows that video not owned error, which it is not currently doing. It is showing a generic error. The reason I want to do that is so that when we move on to building in the routing to the Apify API, we're doing that based on the video not being owned by me specifically. So I want to make sure it's not a generic error message, so that I know that you are detecting that correctly. Thank you. Adam, thinking to tie in with another skill down the line, like automation, SMS, yeah, leads. I mean, leads, that's what businesses want. So you build them landing pages and websites, etc., because they want business. They specifically want people coming to their business. They want leads. So if you can focus there, and you can build systems that get them leads and get them prospects and get them money, revenue, then you can sell that for a lot of money. And there's a lot of people selling AI automations at the moment in that kind of field. It's kind of become the new drop shipping. It's like the new hot thing. So there's a lot of people rushing into that field. I don't think that necessarily means there's not money to be made, but you also need to understand the business. So what your clients need. So I'd highly recommend focusing on one industry. So like the medical industry, for example. And then nailing down your reputation in that particular industry, generating leads in that industry using AI, because most people are just getting default generic NA10 workflows and trying to sell them to businesses. It might work, but again, you're going to be up against a lot of competition. Okay, it's now says it's working. Sorry for fixating on this, but I want it to work so I know when we move on to step 4 that it is using the Apify API for the right reason, if that makes sense. Because we basically have a fallback system. It's like so first I'll do one with mine to make sure it's working. We basically have a waterfall. So if the person is logged in and if they own a YouTube channel and they are giving a URL connected to their YouTube channel, cool, go ahead and do what you just saw on screen, generate. If they're not logged in, or if let's grab this one, or it is not their channel, then oops, Daisy, I'm trying to stop it, then tell me it doesn't belong to you. Okay, so still getting this one. That's let me see, it could be this on the end of it. Is that causing a problem? No, it's still the same one. Oh, past the video. Okay, we need to check the error state in the background. Oops, console, edge function, anonymous. I don't see it. Where am I meant to see the video not owned error message? I don't see it anywhere. And can we bring that to the forefront so the displayed error message on screen for something went wrong is that specifically. Okay. Have a good day, Adam. Agree. Don't want to get caught in the wave of shiny object syndrome. Things are moving fast. Yeah, it's always a risk. Generally, if something's too good to be true, stay away from it. I think with AI in particular, it's lots of people ask, like, what AI business should I make? And it's like, well, it's a bit more complex than that. It needs to be a business first and foremost. And a business is something that creates value that people are willing to pay for. And we still need to do that. We can't just say AI and that's sufficient. On that, actually, if you go to AI with Kyle, if you go to the bottom, there's an AI business quiz. Ignore this, it looks a bit ugly. AI business quiz, which is what AI business should you start? So you run through this, like what industry interests you, health and wellness, what your strongest skills, writing and communication, etc. I'm good at, or how do you want to deliver value? I want to do technical implementation. What's your income goal, etc. You run through all these questions, and it helps you choose potential businesses that you could start in the AI space, but they are still businesses first and foremost. And I think it's got about 10 different business options, but it would give you the top 3 ranked based on your quizzes. So that's AI with Kyle /tools/AI business quiz. I've added. No, why is this so complex? No, this shouldn't be so complex. I need you to change specifically the error screen that appears publicly. So this one, there's something went wrong, edge function returned a non-200 status code. If you get the video not owned error, we need to change that page so it says this video does not belong to your channel. Simple as. Oh, I didn't type that. I got too annoyed. Ah, stop. There we go. Wait, what did I just paste in? Oh my god. I'm making a mess. I'm at the end of the stream as well. I just pasted in... What did I just paste in? Right. Okay. I don't think you're understanding me here. I want you to change the error screen that is visible, which currently says something went wrong. I want that to say specifically when the video is not owned by the account, it needs to say so. That's it. It's a new error screen. That's it. Okay. Okay. I shouldn't get annoyed with it. Okay. It's going to give me one of those responses like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't." You're absolutely right. I'm going to feel bad for being mean to the AI. We'll finish up in just a moment anyway. So we are about halfway through this new integration. I'll update the error state component to show. Okay, I'm still not sure if it's going to do that visibly. Okay, there we go. Apparently it's done it. I don't believe it. Right, so we're going to grab this video with this very serious looking man talking about artificial intelligence. Okay, that might not be a problem because I haven't updated it, published anywhere. I'll deal with that security issue in a moment. Who is this serious man? Arthur Brooks. He's very authoritative looking with the glasses. Okay, boop, boop. No. Bizarre. Why is this such an issue? Okay, what we can do, is ownership error false? So that's not showing up as an ownership error. Setting loading to false, content submission process, user change. So it looks at my roles. This is all debug stuff. We'll get rid of it later. Session is valid. Session is valid. Oh, that's from before. So is ownership error false? if that is not working. That's the end of the stream though. We're at 1 hour, so this is something I'll probably fix this because it's not much fun watching me fix this. And then tomorrow we'll move on to adding in the Apify API to be able to pull third-party YouTube. We'll probably use this very serious man talking about why you should be bored. And success will be if we can get a transcript from a third-party video using this Apify, which cost me money, but shouldn't cost too much money. I just need to adjust my pricing to into account, but we're going to deal with that tomorrow. For now, I'm going to fix this very small but very annoying error, and I don't know what's going wrong. Let me check Claude status. All systems operational. Okay, this is a me problem. I love it when I can blame anyone else. Status lovable, fully operational. Yep, this is me. But we'll push on with this tomorrow. Thank you guys, and have a, oh no, it's not the weekend yet. You may not relax. Have a lovely Thursday, and see you soon.